And so that we're able to do that for our senior community. I can't say enough about the people that attend our center, the people that support our center, the employees that help me make it a good place to be. So, and we thank the court for always having backs.
And we found out during COVID just how important that senior center is.
It was. Yeah, it was. While other people were shutting down, we were gearing up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and we did. And that was a community thing. That wasn't just a few people there. It was community. People still came in and our volunteers still came and helped deliver meals.
Mm-hmm.
We had volunteers that come and help do grocery shopping for people so they didn't have to get out into the grocery stores. There was people that stepped up, even though it maybe wasn't safe for them to do. They masked up and they came in and we got the job done. So.
Awesome. No, I would put y'all against anybody across the nation, not just the state, but the nation as far as our senior
I agree.
center.
Well, I'd like the motion we proclaim September National Senior Citizen Month.
Second.
Okay, y'all not want me to read the proclamation?
Yes, please do.
Short version. Short version. It's not that long.
No.
Whereas older Americans are significant members of our society, investing their wisdom and experience to help enrich and strengthen our community. And whereas the Scurry County Senior Center has functioned as a catalyst for mobilizing the creativity, energy, vitality, and commitment of the older residents of Scurry County. And whereas through the wide array of services, programs, and activities, senior centers empower older citizens of Scurry County to contribute to their own health and well-being and the health and well-being of their fellow citizens of all ages. And whereas during the pandemic, Scurry County Senior Center was a community partner in ensuring that our most vulnerable citizens, people aged 65 and older, many with underlying medical conditions, cared for and able to stay connected, safe, and healthy. And whereas the Senior Center in Scurry County affirms the dignity, self-worth, and independence of older persons by facilitating their decisions and actions, tapping their experiences, skills, and knowledge, and enabling their continued contributions to the community. Now, therefore, we, Scurry County Commissioners Court, do hereby proclaim September 2023 National Senior Center Month and call upon all citizens to recognize the special contributions of the Senior Center participants and all the special efforts of the staff and volunteers who work every day to enhance the well-being of the older citizens of our community. All in favor? All right, thank you. Don't mind if I get a picture with you all on that?
Okay, guys, photo well.
Squeeze into you.
Like the prettiest ones. Okay, this way. We're gonna get behind him. Just put one around.
All right. You're right. I'm not that heavy.
No judgment.
Okay.
Okay, you'll look at me. All right, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank y'all. Thank you, Karen. Thank y'all.
Thank you. I'm gonna take one.
Make sure you ask for food, I want to be back.
Well, you're welcome back anytime. Yes, thank you.
You remember me?
You betcha.
Okay, we can go.
Let's pass the second one around just so we can get one to Tammy. Thank y'all. All right, court discuss and consider approval of the employee benefit renewal for plan year 2024 and consider adding an activity measure to the county's current CSI plan. Y'all want me to bring the podium in?
I shouldn't say that. I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain.
Before court started, I put copies of the most important pages of the renewal on the table for y'all. If you remember a couple of months ago, whenever we were here doing the mid-year review, We knew at that time the full needed amount was gonna be 6.2% and was really anticipating a higher renewal for Scurry County than what was issued. As I said at the time, it was what we do for the later groups is we reassess, we relook at the claims data, how the pool overall is doing, how the individual group is doing, what's going on in their claims before we issue their renewals. And this is one of those situations where I am so happy that is what our board does, because out of the three January 1 groups that we have, they decreased their rates from what was anticipated. But what I talked about was our pool needed amount was 6.2%. That was supposed to be the average. What we're seeing nationwide whenever it comes to the increase in trends or inflation for medical and pharmacy care is anywhere from 7 to 13%. And that 13% is more, that higher percent is whenever, if we break it out, that's where we're gonna see pharmacy. Pharmacy still increases year over year at almost twice the amount as the medical inflation rates go. And we're still having a huge impact of the increase from type 2 diabetic medications. We were one of those groups that fell under whenever federal regulators put in the stipulation that doctors had to enter in diabetic codes showing that there was a diagnosis tied to that medication. We had to implement that, and we're hearing it from our members that weren't taking it because they had type 2 diabetes, but for other things. And so some of those we are still working with to make sure they get those medications. Some of them, it was just strictly for weight loss. And so we're, having to find other options, help them find other options. If y'all do hear from employees that can't get the type 2 diabetic medications, please share my contact information with them, because we need to find out exactly what is going on. And then we look at the different avenues to help them get those medications. I have not heard from anybody here in Scurry County yet. But if they're coming up for a prescription renewal for those medications, whenever that prescription renews is when it will reject. And that's whenever we start the process to help them get it figured out. On page 1 of the letter talks about the renewal and what we're seeing. Page 2 actually will list out the renewal percentages. Like I said, we were anticipating 6 to 7% for Scurry County based on the claims that we were seeing in the spring. It actually came out to 3.9%. So that's a well-deserved decrease, because I spent the weekend pulling claims data to look at what was going on. And like I said, I've had Scurry County for the last 7 years, and very seldom do y'all get below 100% claims experience to loss ratio experience year over year. Whenever I look at the claims data, the current claims data, your 3-year loss ratio or claims experience is 99%. You came in under the 100%. I was so happy. But because we do our RFP processes every 3 to 4 years, where we're able to get a really good discount and program on the dental, vision, and life products. Life products, there is no change. Even though we are changing carriers, they are just mirroring for their first year of what we do. That kept us from having to supply them some of our bad claims data coming out of 2020, because we did have a lot of death claims from 2020 to 2021. But with going it that way, it kept the rates flat, and it kept from our groups having to submit more information and us submit claims data. The vision plans, because of the RFP process, we're now able to offer each group 3 plans to choose from. Scurry County currently offers the value plan, which is a good plan. It's the plan I have. But we now have 3 options for the county to choose from, and then the employees opt in or out of that one plan. The current plan, the rates dropped from I want to say 624 to a little over, just under 4.5, I believe. The premium plan, which has, your current plan has $130 frames allowance. The premium plan for $7, about 7.5, is $180 allowance. And the reason why we went this route, offering that premium plan instead of just taking the decrease, is because we're seeing the increases in what it costs for glasses and contacts for the actual eyewear. We're seeing an increase across the board on that. So now the county can keep the current plan they have, the value plan, or they can switch plans and offer the employees that premium plan. And I believe the information is in the full packet. If not, I can have it to you by the end of the day, as to what you want to offer. Like I said, the health plan, it is a 3.9% increase, and that shakes out to about a $40, I think it was actually $41 and some change, increase per employee per month. When it looks at the rates, if you stick with the same plan. We do always offer alternates whenever it comes to the renewals. You do have one plan that increases that deductible $500, and it keeps you at the same amount you're currently at. What I did was I put numbers to it. Honestly, whenever I look at it, I look at how much that increases what the employees have to pay out. And it was over $900,000. Whenever you take your average number of employees, multiply by that, each one is getting a $500 increase on their deductible. Being a former county employee, it's a really hard justification for $40, plus, then we also look at, y'all do still heavily subsidize the dependent rates. So with you doing that, it may be a better trade-off. I'm not up to date on what your subsidization rates are. It might be a better trade-off budgetary wise for the county to make that change. Just looking at things across the board, it would not be a suggestion that I would make, not at this point. And the reason being is because after looking at the claims, I look at the diagnostic categories. And as I said during the mid-year review, y'all have always had numerous cancer people enrolled on the plan. Whenever I was here back in the spring, whenever I was here doing the mid-year review back in the spring, there was more than that. You've had some roll off. They're no longer on the plan at all. They've literally come up. We're starting to see those claims roll off. So it does help. The issue with this, and this is going to kind of lead into Stacy's part, is the cancer claimants you do have are not your high cost claimants. They show up on the report because our trigger amount is so low. But those cancer claimants are no longer your highest cost claimants. One of them is just a diagnostic category that it's just going to take some time to get the condition under control, and the member making sure they keep it managed, because it is one of those, they do something bad for themselves over even a course of a week, it's going to send them to the hospital. And a lot of this with this diagnostic category, it was hospital stay, not pharmacy. Once that condition becomes better managed, we'll start seeing it to where the medical cost decreases, but the pharmacy cost increases, but the overall claim should come down. The troubling aspect, whenever we look at your claims, where I see the claims heading is from your heart conditions and circulatory issues. Those were the ones that were most prevalent whenever we started looking at high cost claimants. And this last week, at the legislative conference, Commissioner Williams and I were talking about some of the digital imaging things that are available, because as a tax staff, we have a bus that comes to the office that does a lot of that, like the 3D mammogram, things such as that. Those options are available, and we do actually cover them. The full body scans that does detect the cancers, we could get it covered. It wouldn't be something that would be automatic. It's for preventive reasons. The issue is we don't have people locally that have that. Stacy is going to update with her contact at in Lubbock at UMC. It's just not available. It's available in the big metropolitan areas like in Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, but we're not going to be able to get them to come out to do that here, unfortunately. Our best option would be if UMC starts doing it, then we might be able to get them down. But that was something I was able to get because, like I said, sick care is not working. We've got to attack it more from the preventive side to get it going. So that's kind of where we are with that. But that is our biggest hurdle, is availability. I don't know if y'all met Sharon, our boss, our immediate supervisor at the conference last week. But she was at a conference and had the 3D mammogram done. She took the results back to her PCP and was showing, was talking about it. They would not accept it because they're unfamiliar with it. So our local doctors are going to have to start, doing that also. So we can get there. It's going to take some time for our rural providers, more rural providers to get caught up with the technology and stuff like that. But that is stuff that is in the works, and some of it we do cover. The plan does cover.
And so something I would like for us to look at is the Scurry test, which is a home test. And unlike Cologuard, which does one test for cancer in the colon, the Scurry test does 50. And it's liquid. It's for liquid. Your MRI is with AI and AI guided. Dr. Red is for solid tumors that Scurry wouldn't catch. So most of the cancers, not all of them, but most of them would be caught with this home test called Scurry. Be nice to know if that would be covered. It is not FDA approved as of yet. They are working on it. But the false positives are very, very low. And so something you do in your own home.
Yeah. Well, and we've started seeing more of because we do cover the Cologuard test, the at-home test. We're starting to see more of those start to come in too. For those that it's not, they've hit it age-wise,
Yes.
but it's not more family history. So if you don't mind, send me that information, send it to me through email. Because like I said, until it's FDA approved,
Yes.
we're not. So, but
Maybe now, I'm not sure. Just what I first read.
okay.
But there's also a microbiome analysis that is done. And we're learning more and more that microbiome prebiotics are actually can cause you to be healthy, because they're now figuring out that your colon is your second brain.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't feel well, it's because of your microbiome, because the colon sends a signal to the brain saying, I don't feel good. And it produces more serotonin, the colon does, than the brain. So there's another one that's also a home test. And a lot of it, also the tests for hormones can be done through a blood test. Heavy metals can be done through a blood test at home. And all of your vitamin nutrients can be done from a blood test at home. Both LabCorp and Quest Diagnostics have all those tests. It can even be done telemedicine. And then they'll send someone to take your blood if you can't get to there. I think most of us can go to LabCorp or to Big Springs, Abilene. There, it's available. And we become healthier. Our risk for this going up every year goes down.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot more of those, and I'll send you those.
Okay,
So you can look
yeah.
at them and we'll do what we can.
Yeah. Do y'all have any questions about the renewal?
As always, y'all are amazing. And thank you so much for your work.
Well, and what I was telling Misty is, y'all have until October 4th to make a decision. What we are doing, and what I've tried to do over the years, especially with our new treasurers, because, yeah, coming in at the time that she has, I will be here to, whenever y'all do make your decision, I will be here to walk the rest of the steps of the way with her to get that entered into the system, make sure everything is signed off on and all of that. So, just one quick, I know this wasn't on the agenda, and just kind of an FYI, because it was a question we've gotten. The County Choice Silver, the post 65 retiree supplement, it does typically come out about this time each year. We are running a little bit behind on it because we went into negotiations. The first round of renewals that they gave us, we were like, no. And that took a little bit longer than usual for the negotiations. The rates have been sent up to our executive director, Susan Redford, for her final approval on those. They're plugging it in because they were fairly certain she would approve them because Quincy was happy with them. As soon as we get that, they'll finish the process and get those out. So we'll be back to report that to the court in a couple of weeks.
What did you call that other vision plan?
It's the premium. It's premium vision plan. Some of the co-pays for the lenses and stuff like that decreased. But it also allows for a higher allowance on frames.
Okay, and it was, how much, 7
It was like 7.5.
from like 620?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate the segue into my portion. Appreciate Commissioner Williams talking about the importance of getting members on board, and more of the preventive measure. That's there's 3 strategies that Helper County utilizes when they're increasing the health and well-being of members across the board. And number 1 is the preventive and diagnostic measures. So we want to make sure that we have the resources. That's Scurry County's benefit of being part of the health employee benefits pool, are those resources that we build into the benefit programs. And 2 of those, number 1 is the preventive and diagnostic measures, and then keeping healthy people healthy. Now, we definitely do want to eliminate the barriers to caring for our chronic conditions, but certainly number 1 and 3, preventing those before they happen and keeping healthy people healthy, definitely there's a benefit to our members and there's a benefit to the county as a whole. Keeping that attractive benefit package, that's what you can utilize to attract members to the county and to retain those members, the employees that you do have. So one of the things that we talked about, know that we all have slept since Kathy and I were here doing that mid-year review, but one of the things that we talked about is you have incentivized getting members on board and getting their preventive screening, and that's fantastic. But we don't want to stop there. That's merely the foundation of Scurry County coming on board and getting engaged, getting members engaged in the wellness activities. Wellness, not in the sickness, in the wellness resources that we have. We love those resources that are there and the benefits to care for those chronic conditions, but how can we get members on board and engaged in preventing those. And that's in increasing our physical activity. That's just one of the measures. And that's one of the measures that we talked about zeroing in on, because of historically, when we come here and I do the mid-year review, you've got little engagement in our sonic boom activity challenges and the physical activity challenges. So how can we get more members on board and engaged? We're rolling out a new platform October 1st. We're still going to be with Sonic Boom until the end of December, but we're bringing WebMD 1 on, and we're really excited about that because it's going to be very comprehensive and holistic. So we definitely want members excited and engaging, wanting to learn more. And one of the benefits to Scurry County and having this part of your incentive package is getting that interest in that excitement built when we're rolling out WebMD 1. So one of the things that we can look at adding to your incentive program is 108 days of 7,000 steps of physical activity for an incentive. I was talking to Judge Hicks before court this morning. The majority of the counties in Northwest Territory, and truthfully across the state, what they do is they incentivize that annual physical exam with a PTO day. And then every additional measure, they do raffle tickets. So at the end of the year, there's going to be a drawing for a dollar amount or whatever the court determines that to be. And each measure that you add into that county-specific incentive can be a raffle ticket. So come on board, engage in 108 days of 7,000 steps, and you get a chance to be enrolled or in the drawing for that end of the year prize, whatever that may be. Some of the counties do $100, $200, $250, or $500. Now, keep in mind that this is funded through your employer rewards that you're already currently getting from the pool. We recognize that we're all human beings. We like that carrot more so than the stick, if you're like me. I like knowing that, hey, there's something out there. I want to increase something, maybe getting my steps in, and there's that prize at the end of the year that incentivizes me to go ahead and participate and to complete that challenge. And then there's other things that we can look at doing as well for that incentive at the end of the year. We're going to be holding workshops. We're going to have WebMD come out and do a registration day. That could be a raffle ticket as well. So there's multiple ways that we can use that raffle ticket and the raffle drawing to incentivize members. And that would be my advice if you're looking at adding in that physical activity measure. And that way, one of the benefits to Scurry County as well, just laying that out as a tiered approach, is you don't have to necessarily fund 100% of your members. And you wouldn't have that level of engagement. We would love to see it. I would love to see it. But usually we hit about 25% that first year, historically across the pool that I've looked at for the last, since about 2012, when I did my deep dive, when I came on to TAP in 2019, about 25% is what we're going to get with that first year of laying out any incentive, and then it builds from there. All right.
Sounds good.
Is there any questions regarding the physical activity measure to the county specific incentive?
That's great.
On the well on target, is that the same thing? The points that are on the well on target, when is the last day to use those?
So the well on target, that's actually through Blue Cross Blue Shield. Those are blue points, and they stay.
Okay.
The Boom and Bucks through Sonic Boom, December 31st is when they expire.
And so you will continue to get those as you exercise throughout the time period that Sonic Boom is still available.
Yes, we do have a challenge currently underway right now. It kicked off August 28th, and that's the last opportunity for members to earn any Boom and Bucks.
My benefit quit. So now I've got to go earn that one.
Is there
And keep in mind, members get a free one every 2 years. So if you feel like it, just keep in mind, you can still do that and get that free tracker.
I know you said the well on target is through Blue Cross Blue Shield, but is that part of our incentive as well? Because I know that there's a health risk assessment on there
Yeah,
that you get points for filling out, and then there's all the classes, there's different trainings and different programs in there, because I've taken several of them.
So we have wellness resources and programs available through Healthy County, and we also have those available to members through Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. And all of those blue points are available through Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. Yes, that's correct. So you're right. Members do get blue points for taking a health risk,
Well, I
that
just
health
didn't know if it would
assessment.
help with our county, incentive or not.
No,
Okay.
no. But you do get blue points, so
Yes, I
that
have
is,
a lot of.
yes.
We could
And
end up
thank you for-
using that though towards our incentive. at
You
some
sure,
point if
we
want.
could, absolutely. And that's why it's called Scurry County's, county specific incentive. It's because you own that. It is completely yours. We can build that. You can incentivize that. However fits your population, your members, your culture.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We could look at those and see, you know, how many points you get for the,
Well,
wellness or for each of the
I mean,
classes.
there's a lot of stuff, cause I was looking at the Well and Target one and like what is that mixer, that great big mixer that's expensive that everybody
Yes,
loves?
the
KitchenAid?
Yes.
Yeah, that has one in there that you
Yes.
can, like, I have enough points that I can probably get 3 of those. I don't need 3 of them, but they have stuff like that, that is a really big, high dollar value,
Yes.
dollar value on there.
Yeah.
So there are a certain amount of points if they did the risk assessment. Because it does also send you emails if you have high risk for stress or, your cardiovascular and stuff like that. So you get all these emails from your coach that's assigned to you too. So could tie in potentially with the county specific incentive, like do this and show us this and we could do, I don't know, potentially.
And WebMD1 also will have that availability. And I think sometimes what we fail to do is properly communicate that with our members. So, and even when we do, they forget. And so that would be a great opportunity during open enrollment is to communicate that and make sure that members know. So I appreciate you bringing that up. We need to make sure that we're communicating that. I need to make sure that I will be here for open enrollment, that will be part of the communication that I give to each member that I meet with, is letting them know you've got this. So they're getting their annual physical exam and they're getting that and the PTO day through Scurry, and then through Blue Cross Blue Shield, they're racking up blue points for that physical exam. Taking that health assessment, they're getting more blue points. So, it's double duty. They're getting double incentivized when we look at it like that.
Yes.
And maybe that's a communication piece that's just been left off, that we really need to essentially be making sure members are aware of. So,
Maybe you can come and give a PowerPoint or
yes,
a talk
absolutely.
at some safety meeting where we ask everybody to come.
I would be happy to.
Okay,
And
that's
keep in
great.
mind, you get employer rewards for
Thank
that. More money for y'all to incentivize your members coming on board and engaging.
Great.
Absolutely. Yes.
Let's do that. Okay.
And I'll come anytime. I know sometimes they roll out at 7 a.m. I've come as early as, 6:30, so I can come multiple times during the day.
That's great.
Very flexible. Live in Lubbock, I'm very flexible, so,
Perfect.
yeah.
Good deal. Thank you, Stacey.
You're welcome. Would you like me to stay as you bring that to a vote, or would you like to?
Yeah, hang on for a few minutes.
Okay.
Let's see if we're gonna
Okay,
make a decision.
okay, absolutely. Thank you all for your time.
I've got one that doesn't,
Okay, I was wondering if the one she gave me is correct.
that one isn't on. This one is. I think. Got one of those. The one in my agenda is. I'll use that one.
The yellow sticky one is what Cindy gave me.
Okay. All right. So what's your pleasure? Do you want to, we did budget for the 6.2 increase. So 3.9 is better.
Oh, my goodness.
And do you want to stay with the current vision or do the premium vision? And do you want to do another county incentive plan, doing the 108 days of 7,000 steps? And if we do want to do that, what is our benefit? What is the prize at the end of the term going to be that we raffle?
Raindrops.
Well, we'll actually give us money so we can actually give money for people to do it. I don't think a pat on the back is gonna get people motivated for the most part.
Hasn't done it yet.
And then, even if you give them a large prize, I don't think there's gonna be that large of an engagement. And maybe in the beginning, that it was. I mean, we had a great engagement at first, right?
Yeah.
Not anymore. So you're gonna have to, utilize some of those dollars that we are given from the pool and incentivize people in a big way to really get out there and work for it. Tell each other, I can beat you and you can't beat me, or something, I don't know. That may be an additional incentive. I'm gonna lose more weight. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm down at my limit. I'm not losing weight.
So when you say big prize, how big?
250 to 500, depending on the amount of money that we actually have for the pool to do this.
And I'll have to look into that because I'm not sure.
Okay, and then we can do the top 10, the top 5, whatever, depending on that money.
Also, everybody loves a day off.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get that with the health assessment.
That's only really, that's beneficial for all the regular hourly employees, definitely.
Yeah,
But then you have your department heads, elected officials that,
Yeah.
we get off anyways.
Right.
We get off.
Can we wait and see how much money we have
What's your-
available?
I don't know.
We won't get it until, go ahead, Steve.
Yes, and please keep in mind that this is for plan year 2024. So when you implement this, then you won't have to pay that out. You're not going to be paying that out until the end of the year. And you will get this year's employer rewards in February, March. So you will have that to fund your incentive. You're right at I can't remember, I would have to look, you're either at the 7,000, I want to say it's 7,000 that you're eligible for. But passing that county specific incentive, and I've given you the amount, I gave Misty the amount for 2019, 2021 through 2022. It's increased significantly, largely due to passing that county specific incentive, because you get that 30% right off the bat, no matter how many people engage in getting that annual exam, you get that 30%. And then you've had a workshop, you've had 2 workshops in the past, that pays out at almost 25% up. So you're getting over half of that back each year, just under half, I should say. Because you didn't have 100% engagement in the workshops. And then you do have a few that were participating in the Sonic Boom challenges. I believe that the last amount that Scurry County received was close to $2,500. So that gives you an idea where you're at, and also what you're, eligible to receive as well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So we
thank
need to
you.
look at,
I forgot to mention it.
that's okay, thank you. We need to look at what we can do to get closer before the end of the year to get to closer to that 7,000.
Right.
So, all right, Missy and I'll get with you on that.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you.
So 2,500 or more is what we'll, right around 2,500, at least 2,000.
My point is, I don't know how you have to word it in a motion, but see what we do get. Because if you give a big prize, then you, honestly, they have enough people that'll eat that up and you won't have something for further down. See my point?
I did, but how big a prize are you thinking?
Well, that goes to the money.
Yeah, yeah,
I would say, 250, 500, make it worth it,
sure.
because, but that was my point about
Right,
money.
so if we did 500 or 250,
Now, I would like to also, I know it's different now that we don't have the little ped thing, but I can tell you that when there was a contest going on with that ped thing, there was a lot of people doing this
Exactly.
all day long to get numbers. And I just don't think that's fair for somebody to get $500 to stand there and pound their foot when other people are actually. It does exercise your arms.
Speaking of your KitchenAid mixer, you can actually watch your KitchenAid mixer.
There were some of them that actually did that.
Yeah.
There were,
It's insane.
sadly, there was,
They put it on their dogs.
Yes.
Oh, well.
It was a big thing, like, I mean, and it was at different counties, it wasn't necessarily here, I don't know about here, but you could see their pictures, and you could see that they
They
were
didn't do
walking
that.
30,000 steps a day, and you're like,
No.
I'm sorry, but no. And I don't, not trying to be judging at all,
It's so
it's
true.
just, it was, you could tell.
Yeah.
When you had others who were legit trying to do it, cause I know Terry walked, or he would go ride, run, whatever. Like he literally put himself in the hospital
Just
to,
about.
just about, almost just to get that, to actually, for real, get the numbers. And there were several of us walking on the, at lunchtime around the courthouse. The purpose is to actually be healthier,
Yes,
not to just pretend that we're gonna be healthier. It's to actually do it.
yes.
And that's a good point, that as far as looking at your incentive, you know, keep in mind that you're gonna be wanting to add to this in years to come, and you don't wanna oversaturate. So a $500 gift card for the physical activity, that might be the level of oversaturation. What you might wanna look at is $250, or maybe 2 or 3 $100.
Right.
And then keep that $500 in your mind, $500 amount, in your mind when we start adding to that. It's not just getting that physical activity, but maybe attending some workshops and doing a few other measures, engaging with our WebMD1 platform. So
Yeah.
that's a good point. I mean, we don't want to have that one big dollar figure for this
Yeah,
smaller engagement.
Right. And looking at it, 108 days, 7,000 steps, there's gonna be a lot of people that get that.
Right.
And how do you choose?
And that's the
when they're-
minimum, you know, that's what we're taking from the National Advisory, and that's the minimum. So definitely, that's a good place to start, but we definitely want to build on that through the years as well.
Right.
So again, take all of that into consideration for that incentive that you want to assign to that.
And there's also in there some health and nutrition, like healthy eating habits, trainings on there as well. So, cause that's obviously a big, huge part of health is your eating habits. If you're eating processed foods that are full of junk, or you're eating whole healthy foods. I mean, and there's trainings on that too. So it could be like, I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to like come up with something just like right now, unless you say participate in these different trainings. Cause activity is great, but you've also gotta eat healthy.
Yes.
We put the workshops in too,
If you attend the workshop.
and then where she's talking about, if that may be part of it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
You know, we are going to have to, if we want our people to actually do this and eat healthy, we have got to determine foods that we like ourselves, that are truly healthy. Because that's what I get every time. That health food, that tastes like rubber or paper, or it's not any good. Well, it took me from the time I was 20 till probably 30 to figure out that there are awesome foods out there that are healthy for you, that do taste good. I can take a donut and make it healthy. I do that by using monk fruit for the sugar, or xylitol. Don't get too much, you wish you hadn't. You can use einkorn flour, which is the regular 14 chromosome flour, rather than the 42 that you get now. That is not God food, it's man food, and it's sugar in your body. I can make those donuts. I've had my grandchild actually to do that, and it's healthy. It tastes like a regular donut, but it's still healthy. And actually, if you add cinnamon to that, cinnamon stops sugar from spiking the blood sugar. So diabetics could even eat that. And we like that. But now, is that the healthiest thing we can eat? No, absolutely not. Vegetables, small amounts of meat that isn't polluted with antibiotics and chemicals. And all of those are available here. You know, my mother loves bacon. But the last bacon that we brought her from the grocery store, because this healthy bacon costs too much, that's that's pasture raised. She says, Terry, this last bacon that you brought from the grocery store, we try to give her the best, the brand name, even that she says, this is cheaper and this is what I want. She said, I couldn't eat it. And it's because of commercial hog farming that the excrement that they have, they gotta have pools that they keep this in, but whenever it floods and it goes into the tributaries, it actually kills the animals that drink that water that's polluted by this commercialized farming of swine. And so there's lots of things that we can do, but we've gotta, I can come up with a list. And I finally have transformed my mother, 95 years old, if you think that's not difficult, try it sometime, over to unhealthy eating to healthy eating, and she loves it. It's amazing. So it doesn't taste like paper or cardboard, or it's actually good. I made some of the best hot rolls you've ever eaten with good food. And just knowing a few things can make everything a lot more healthy and make you healthier and want to do those incentives. Get out there and exercise and make it work for our community.
Right. And that's what we're driving for, right?
Yes,
Is the
absolutely.
internal incentives.
Gotta make their
We've
mind
got
up
to
here.
incentivize them externally till they start reaping those internal benefits.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling better. I'm off of my medications. I'm able to climb stairs with knees now
Absolutely.
that aren't so
That
painful
don't hurt.
because of the
That's right.
chronic inflammatory process that we're in because of our diet. And
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, last year we received 2,790, and I think it was in March is when we got that. So,
For last year's, but we got it this year.
yes.
So if we did the top five, you did a 500, 250, 100, and then 250s, it's $950. I think we could work on, Stacy and Misty and Angela and I work on putting together a plan and then come bring that back to you.
Perfect.
And then have an idea of what we're gonna do.
And I'll be glad to help you with
That aspect of it.
Just another little thought real quick. Also, we want them to be healthy, but we also don't want to make it too stringent because they're not gonna do
Sure.
it.
No, that's
I agree.
Especially those that are not used to doing anything, they're gonna be like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So make it doable as well.
Well, Melody brought up Beat the Judge.
And keep in mind, that will be available with the WebMD one fund. You
you
can
can
do
do
your
it on the
own
face.
internal challenges, run a department against department.
If you beat the
Not me,
judge as
but
far as
you.
activity, then you get to
Pie in
go
the
a pie in the face of the judge.
It's very incentivizing at the school.
You're gonna go for us too?
If they say, if y'all reach this much, we'll get a pie in the face of schools, those kids, they go all at it
They
to throw that pie in the face of the
Oh,
kids.
my.
Because I mean,
Well, we can add
Very
some
nice.
commissioners if we need to.
I think if I have to do it, y'all have to do it.
Yes.
No, Melody.
Yeah, but she-
I picked you.
yeah, that's right.
We could go by their
I'll do it.
department head, whoever wins. The department head. and Throw everybody under the bus.
I like to beat the judge.
I like to beat the judge.
We did
I'm
that for a
willing to
while.
do that.
We tried to
Let's-
push ups and you-
I know it. All right, so, and we'll look at adding that in there. If you beat the judge in your activity over, let's call it the 108 days. Then you get a pie, you get to throw a pie in the face of the judge.
In the front of the courtyhouse for everybody to see.
It'll be in the paper.
And this is for employees only.
Yes.
Are you not gonna stipulate the type of pie?
That's a good point.
Oh, chocolate cake,
Yeah.
Some of them wouldn't be too good. Like being hit in the face with a piece of concrete.
Usually just a whipped cream.
Right.
Lots of
That
hair.
is the biggest incentive right there for people. All right,
You want
like I
healthy
said.
pie or?
Y'all ever seen fried green tomatoes? I'm sorry. I ain't saying anymore.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna bring this part back, that incentive plan.
Okay, that sounds great.
What do you want to do on the insurance?
Well, it's, like she said, $40, 500, whether you, question is, if you've never used, and you're gonna ask 500 for the deductible, it's gonna go up. It's $480 a year. Roughly, that it's gonna increase. So I don't know that $40 would be worth the risk of having one hospital visit and having to call for 500.
500 more.
It's already
Yes.
1,000, so
Yes.
it's 1,500.
Right.
Two hundred.
I
No,
thought
it
it's
raises-
1,500.
It's
It's
1,500
yeah,
and
it's
it would go up
It would go
to
to
2,000.
2,000.
So,
They're not gonna go to the hospital.
Mm-mm.
They're gonna die or be sick.
I wouldn't go in.
They go to the emergency room whenever they get sick enough.
I mean, and that's my.
No, I agree.
I mean,
Thank you.
Hey.
Second.
what do y'all think about the 40? Your employees, y'all, court?
I'm with you.
Passing the $40 raise on to the employee, or is it can't be adjusted?
That's the increase in the rate.
That's it.
Increase in the rate.
Yeah.
Because we passed it on a couple
We
of years ago, we took
budgeted
it back last year.
already for more than that.
Right.
So even if we covered the 40, we budgeted for more than that $40.
Yeah.
Because we budgeted it at 6.2 or 6.3, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And at that point, we could also do the premium vision with what we budgeted already.
Well, the vision, they pay for themselves. The
Okay,
employees cover
that's right.
themselves
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
vision.
With the premium, could you do both? Could you do
On the vision,
could we offer both? Yeah.
not at this time, because of our software. We are in the process of making upgrades to where maybe down the road, in this case, every group would be able to offer all three plans, and the employee would pick which one of the three plans.
Okay.
But at this time, no, you get, whenever it comes to those,
Okay.
it's just you opt in or you opt out, and then the employees opt in or opt out.
Okay, so for employees that, they would pay $1.30 more for, the vision insurance, which would cover $50 more in frames. It would go from 130 to 180. Would the exam copay and the lens copay stay the
That,
same?
actually, the co-pays on the lenses go down slightly.
Okay, lenses are $15 and that would, so, so to pay $1.30 or more per month,
It's gonna be up,
$12 per year
it's gonna be up to the employee to opt in or out, so.
for the vision program. Yeah.
I don't see why we wouldn't do that. We go.
Just kind of on a side note, as a TAC employee, like I said, I currently have the plan y'all have.
Mhm.
And as a TAC employee, because we got this, we're gonna get the same offer, I'm pushing for them to do the 180. Because it's nothing unusual for my classes to run me under the value plan that currently have still around 400. Without any eyewear, it's pushing 1,000. I mean, without any insurance. And so that would bring the cost of it down a little bit more.
I don't really see why we wouldn't, because the employee can opt in or out, yeah.
And we still have two options. We
That
have
doesn't,
I-
yeah. Dearborn
Itopia
and
and
Atopia.
two I mean,
Mhm.
Dearborn.
Dearborn.
Yeah.
Did you say
Okay.
two pro-
I did. I'm thinking of a golf course apparently.
All right, so,
That's my opinion.
so your motion is to, do the new effective rates, or new rates, the 1,075.26 for employee only.
I just, like I said,
County cover the difference.
yeah, because I mean, it's, you don't use it, you'll never know it,
Right.
but if you do, so, they can be an incentive. If it's budgeted, county covers the increase.
And include the premium vision? Okay. So motion, second, all in favor? All right. Thank you all for
Thank you.
spending so much time with us.
We'll be talking to you. Thank you.
Just include that.
What is your schedule like?
If you
Okay.
don't mind.
Oh, sure.
I'd love that. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm good on Friday.
All right, court information on the newly required jury fee referring to HB 3474, Article 8, Section 8.001.
Sandy wanted me to talk about this, just so that y'all are aware that the jury fees are going up effective, 9/1/23. But, the state is reimbursing us the difference of that, so we're really not gonna be out, only the time we're out of it is the time between, submitting the quarterly report and them sending us the check back. So the first day for, appearance and services, $20, and each day after that is gonna be $59. The state will reimburse $52 for all days except for the first day. So,
So it didn't change a whole lot.
I went up, yeah, I went up quite a bit, cause it was only was it $6 for the first day and 14 after that or something like that. It was, but the bill, HB, what is it?
3474?
Yeah, it's a very long bill. There's a lot in there. I had to search to find this, but it's Article 8, Section 8.001, if you wanna look it up.
That's all I'll take for it.
Yeah, and that was information only.
Yes, there's no voting or anything, just so y'all would know that she wanted to make sure y'all are aware it's coming up.
But that is coming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, September 1, correct?
Yes, it went into effect September 1. So like the grand jury that's meeting today, they will be on new rates.
Okay. And that's when they actually funded, so that's cool.
Yes.
All right, court to consider amending the road use agreement with Canyonland Energy, adding CR 3155 to the list of its access roads.
They're asking to add this to it, but the reason they didn't add it the first time is they didn't think they was gonna use
And that's the only one they use now.
it. No. Oh,
The main one they use.
no, because it's one west of our, the cemetery goes south, then back west. That's where it goes. So,
Okay.
then it's 14/Sandy Road.
Second.
All in favor? All right, Kurt. Who's Kurt?
Everybody's tongue tied.
Court to consider certification of additional revenues in the form of funds received from reimbursement from BWI companies and then also from TAC for MVD supplement.
So this BWI companies, apparently there was a double invoice back from, 21, May of 2021, and they finally, it wasn't a double invoice. This invoice was supposed to have been, the colleges. But they BWI finally got their audit done or whatever, and they sent us back this reimbursement. But because it isn't the same fiscal year, we have to certify it so I can put the money back into their line.
Okay.
And the tax one is the additional, claim on the EMS roof, the difference of what they had already, paid us and the go between Greg and them, so it's $16,089.61.
Yeah, can I make a motion we certify the additional revenues as stated?
All in favor? Line item transfers and budget amendments?
Okay, there are some of those.
Just a few.
Yeah, we have the district clerk, the district court one. I'm not sure if I have a copy of this or not. I think
I
so,
do.
yeah, okay. So district court administrative expense, $157.84 out of witness expense to cover, the line for the 7th Administrative Judicial Region assessment for the fiscal year. The DA's office supply $500 out of investigative expense. Jail, you're gonna see a line item transfer and a budget amendment for jail, both are for $30,000 into food. He is already like nearly over his budget in food, and the $30,000 isn't even going to get him through the rest of this year, so he needs this 30 plus another 30 to maybe potentially get there. So there's a line item transfer from, his doctor medical into his food. And then there's library equipment, 5,445 out of audiovisual and new books. This is for, yes, this is the carpet, that she had requested at the end of last year and then it didn't get done yet, but it's being done now. So the Orange Crew moved all the shelving out, they're repainting in there. This is to pay half of the carpet and then she will pay the other half, but it was within her budget lines. And precinct 2, maintenance repair, 8,000 out of machine hire and capital outlay. Permanent improvement, the courthouse renovation, actually, this just needs to be a budget amendment. Sorry, I didn't look at this close enough. But, it's gonna go into the courthouse renovation, and this is for courthouse structural assessment that we had to do. Those are all the line item transfers. The budget amendment will be the jail, the 30,000. And then Parks Department, that 379.96. A note on the jail, he is less than 50,000. I know it's even less than that now, because he received several checks in last week, for meeting his prisoner keep revenue. So it's potential that we could certify some of that to go to his food line, because the cost of food is continuing to go up, and I don't know that 60,000 is even gonna cover him for the year for that.
Need to increase the cost of keeping.
The inmates.
Yes.
He has increased on the newer contracts, he has gone up some on those. The existing contracts, he's, they're already have the contract in place, but he has gone up on new ones.
I make a motion to approve line item transfer budget amendments.
All in favor? And accounts payable.
Accounts payable is $1,785,513.91.
I make a motion we approve accounts.
Second.
All in favor?
I make a motion that we be adjourned.
All in favor?
I didn't make a motion for that.
All right.
You want to stay here all day.
That's it.
No, I